Up,
but
Nito. Are you fresh?
huh?
Are you fresh meat?
Yeah, I just joined. Well, I didn't just join. I just joined VC,
Uh
so sure, I'll be fresh meat.
huh. So how'd you hear about the flat Earth and stuff? Where were you when you heard about it?
I was in the 24/7 Flat Earth Discord,
Uh huh.
and then I got banned. And then
Why?
for bullying, apparently.
Bullying? Who did you bully?
A
An
parent named
admin.
Lee.
Why were you bullying?
I wasn't.
Ah, you wasn't bullying.
Well, they say I was. A lot of them have a superiority complex, and I don't really mesh well with that. So
You have to forgive us. Cause we've been able to outsmart, outwit every scientist, every mathematician, every physician, every astrophysics person, every engineer. You gotta forgive us for being a little bit slightly arrogant. Now myself, I try to remain as humble as possible. So I will try not to be arrogant.
you're a flat earther, right?
Shape of the
He's a
Earth
true earther.
Yeah, the shape of the Earth is a no, but what we do know is that it's not a globe, right?
Well, all I'm saying is like I treated everyone there with respect. There's just some people who had positions of power that didn't, and that's who I would fuck with because they asked for it.
Ah.
So I would make fun of them. Yes, I guess you could. I guess it could be considered bullying, but it's not like they didn't deserve it.
You were just probably trolling them, right?
Uh, I wouldn't even say trolling
Oh, you were
because
being
I had friends in there. I had friends in there. I enjoyed talking with them. I didn't want to get banned.
Right.
Hold on. Do you know I'm in another Flat Earth Discord, which they invited me to after I got banned. Sh- what's his name? Son of a bitch.
That's not a nice name.
Good, Brandon.
I guess I'm not in there anymore. Either it's gone or I got banned.
Oh, we got banned.
Probably.
You're batting 1,000 here.
Word travels
Oh.
fast around here.
Bloke sounds like Mel.
Yeah.
Cheerio.
Your name is now Mud.
Yeah,
It's not like you
They-
believe in the globe or anything, right? You just go along because everybody thinks that, right?
well, my thing is, it wouldn't even matter. It doesn't matter what shape the Earth is.
Of course not.
It could be fun to speculate, I guess, but
It doesn't matter,
I'm just gonna go with like your generic like space and globe model.
Just what they told us.
Yeah, but why would they tell you that?
Why would they lie?
Why would they lie?
Why would they? Why would
They lie
would
about
they lie?
they lie about everything. Why do they need this one specific facet of this like conspiracy theory realm to convince you that they can lie to you? They lie to you about everything else. Like, what's the point?
They don't want to let you go. They love you. You're their puppet. A puppet. They don't want to cut their strings with you. Have you just go about the world living your everyday life, right? They need to monitor you, track you, make sure they keep you in the perimeter.
What does that have to do with flat Earth, though?
Because if you understood the Earth is flat, you might start thinking, do you know what? Get it out.
No,
of here.
see, that's the exact argument everyone gave me. That's not an argument. It's not.
No, not for
It's
you.
literally not, because they lie to you about everything.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Everything.
not for you.
They
But
do
think
not
about
need. They don't need flat Earth
Let's think
to
about
convince
it. If the
people
majority
that
of
they
people-
lie to you.
Look, have you been to a theme park?
Sure. Yeah.
You like to travel places. You actually been hunting.
Yeah.
Right. So this is what man is like generally, not specifically you, but you might want to as well. But most people will be like, well, hold on a second. It's not a ball. It doesn't go there around. I mean, I can travel on. That means people will start the adventure all over again and start exploration all over again like we were 500 years ago.
No, they wouldn't.
Oh,
How?
goodness
There's
me.
nowhere left to explore.
Well,
Except what? Like Antarctica? Like you wanna you wanna go through the fucking Hollow Earth portal and find Hitler or something? Like I just
No,
I don't
I mean, Admiral Byrd, you know Admiral Byrd?
Yes.
Right, so Addy Byrd, he says there's more land beyond the poles. More land beyond the ice. So people want to go out there. Now, I know what you Americans are like. You know, you've got to be the first, you've got to be the best, got to be the biggest, loudest, proudest. Now, I'm telling you, if they knew there was gold in them hills, Nito, half of America would leave and start exploring outside beyond the wall.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
You don't know Americans.
Well, yes, America.
Dude, they literally sit on their fat asses eating fucking McDonald's.
Because
Why would anyone leave? No, that's what I'm saying.
that's
is
why
like
they sit on there eating McDonald's. Because right
the
now
majority
there's nowhere
the
to
majority of people, like that's like I know a lot of people who are like waiting for this like entire political collapse, and
go. A lot
I
of
just
people
don't
now,
think it's
Nito,
going to
let me give you an
happen.
example. People now are waiting for that space travel, right? People think they can go to space. You know that Richard Branson.
No one
stuff?
is.
No, but
No one
listen,
is.
You know Richard Branson is taking people. So people are like, oh, I want to. You want to hear the ball is here? Oh, soon all the public will be going to space, and that will be a nuts. So
No one's going to space.
I know this.
I'm not going to space.
I know this. Try telling the Globers that. They'll freak out. They think space is a real...
I am a glober.
Yes, well,
I'm not going to space.
no one's going to space.
Well, yeah, if you don't believe space exists, then sure, it's easy to say no one's going to space. But I'm saying if you believe it exists, it's easy to say that you're not going to space.
It's clear you
because
don't understand
it's
people.
just not there yet.
You
It's
don't
just not there
understand
yet.
people because people like to travel, explore. They like to migrate. They like to immigrate. They like to move. They like to go far and wide, and that's what people are like. Now I don't know about you.
No, people are like this.
Like
they
what?
have a family. They have friends and family
Mhm.
they have to take care of on Earth
But the children
in their
the
children.
children. What are the children?
They look at space and they're like, that's a
Children
fun
start
idea.
thinking, oh, I
Well,
will be an astronaut.
I'm here now, so I need to go to work tomorrow and
Mhm.
support these people. I'm not going to go into space. Like, that's what they think. They don't think about going into space. They think about supporting the people that depend on them
Are you bullying
on
me
Earth.
now?
What?
Are you bullying me? You're not
But
even
you
letting
keep trying to
you're not even
overtalk
letting
him,
me
Spurs.
speak or anything. You're funding me.
Yeah, you keep over talking him,
Because
Spurs.
you won't let me respond or anything.
But he's responding to you, mate.
What by what? What was my question?
wait, I'm confused. What? Wait, is so
Oh, whatever shit you said, he was responding to it.
him?
No, I'm not talking to you, Nito.
I was about to say, yeah. I mean,
No,
I
you're
thought
cool,
I
mate.
thought it was pretty civil.
Yeah, you were. Spurs was over talking you.
Yeah, but he's making me shout.
That's
stop
because
trying
you're
to
trying to overtalk him. Wait till he finishes, you won't have to shout.
Okay, like I said, all I'm saying is normal people aren't looking forward to space travel. They're looking forward to supporting the people on Earth that depend on them. That's all I'm saying.
No. Like I've just explained. If people knew, especially Americans, and even here in England, if people knew there was an option to go exploring and leave this horrible world that they live in, they would do it without a second thought. Because
Maybe
you've
like
just-
250 years ago, yeah, I'd believe you. But
Today,
Not
with
now.
technology, they can go further, they can go higher. So what's the problem?
why would they? Why would they?
Because that's what man is like. Children
No.
want to explore. They grow up. It's only because
Man
you're-
has changed. Man is nothing more than like what? Corporate slaves?
That's the point. If you knew the Earth was
That's
flat,
that's not the point. The point is they are
Just
going to
over-talking me.
stay
can't get a word in.
in the continent. All right, man. Say what you need to say. Sure.
Well, I've just said it basically. That is that children, as they grow up, they get this taken out of them. This idea of being curious and exploring. And the reason why your country is the state it's in now is because of that. You know, television, computer games, virtual reality. But if people knew travel, they would definitely go. Why not? People are flying all over the world. How many people leave America to go Europe, to Australia, to Japan, China? Millions. So
They're not going there to live there. They're not going there to settle a new colony or anything. That is literally a relic of like 250 years ago. That's not going to be a thing anymore.
what? Just
People
because-
people don't expect to, like, you know, people want to stay where they are in the
condition-
countries they live in with the families they have. There's no reason.
That's due to conditioning. And you know, it's more attractive to stay at home on your computer and do everything from your computer, right? When really people like to explore. And again, if they knew there was more land, they'd be off in a heartbeat.
I
That's
don't
the
think.
problem.
I mean, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on that point.
Yeah, fair enough. But let's agree that we were not on a ball spinning, flying through space. We can agree on that too.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like, I mean, we go back to, this is what your problem with space travel was, where if people knew, like, we could go settle on other planets, like, it's not up to us. Like, there's not going to be like average Joe that just goes out into the wilderness and like settles a fucking
I think
city.
yes. I think people will pack up, get on a boat. You know, people just get on their bikes. They get in the caravan. They get, you know, Moyet's got his boat. Moyet would be off. You know, where is this ice wall I'm going? Taking the family straight off there. That's
But
what
you
it-
gotta it's just not gonna happen. Everything is totally like,
Have you seen the Truman Show?
it's totally settled in the
have
fact that, like,
Have you seen the
yeah,
Truman Show? Truman
I
Show,
have.
yeah. So in that movie, they do everything they can to put Truman off traveling, right? And
that's
so-
just one person though.
No, I'm just saying that the idea was to put the person off traveling. So they
Yeah.
Do you notice how many people were lying in that show to pull that off to fool that one person? That's the Truman Show. That many people it took to lie to one person.
Yeah, that was
They were
only,
all actors.
Imagine
The
having
people
to
on the
lie
streets.
to
The people on the streets were actors. The people in the
millions.
shops were actors. The people driving their cars were actors.
What does
So
that-
much for your Truman
does
Show,
that, what does that
Spurs.
tell you though?
It tells you that you need a lot of people to pull off the lie, you goose.
There you go.
So where is the lie?
Yeah, but we're not talking about
Where is the lie, Spurs? Where is the lie?
like the lie is on you on a spinning ball.
Where
Look,
is it?
see,
Where is
the
it?
thing
Show
is,
it to me.
they don't need this specific lie. Like, the thing is not to lose people to, like, the lands beyond Antarctica or some
Bring
shit.
evidence off the
Like-
lie, Spurs.
Yeah, if they start losing,
Where is it?
If you start losing the cattle, you've got to get
Where
them
is
back.
the lie?
Now,
Where's your evidence of a lie? Bring
Now they-
evidence. We want physical measurements of a lie.
now, Nito, they see
We'd
you
like to
as,
see a
as an
like to see a
animal.
live video of the lie and time stamped.
They see you as
Where
an
is the
animal.
lie?
Have it in a vacuum, please.
I mean, to be fair, I agree with you. Like, you are going to be lied to by people who are in control of society as a whole.
So the
I'll
Earth's flat,
agree
is
with
the
that.
Nito?
I just think that
Is the Earth flat then, Nito?
Controls society
the
as
Earth
a
is
whole.
not flat, in my
Then-
opinion. No.
Yeah, exactly.
In your opinion,
Exactly.
what's the
But no,
evidence?
that's what I'm saying is they will lie to you about all sorts of shit. They're just not lying to you about the shape of the Earth. There's no reason to.
Well, what's the evidence for the shape of the Earth then?
Where's evidence for your lie?
Nito.
What's that? What's evidence for? Yeah, flat Earth. Like
The horizon.
I've heard. Like
Have you ever seen the horizon curve?
we talked about this earlier. Like anyone can go outside and look at their
Don't get sucked
fucking
in.
horizon and be
Nico.
like, yeah, it's.
But have you ever seen the horizon curving?
How could you?
That's my point. If you never see a curving horizon, why would you think it's curving?
You got to think of planetary bodies in the terms of scale, like how big they truly are in comparison to you.
Yeah.
You're not going to see curve.
Well, how big is the Earth then?
Fuck, you want me to Google it? I can't look it up on Google because you'd just be like, oh, it's NASA. Like,
No.
that's what I'm saying is there's no winning. Like,
This is not
it's
really an
either-
argument. I'm just checking out your opinion. You said it's my opinion, we're on a board. So I'm asking what gave you that opinion? You just said that the board is too big, and I'm like, how big? You're like, you don't know, but you know it's big.
Yeah, it's big enough for, someone standing on the surface not to see a curvature.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even a weird
Well, has
concept.
anyone ever seen?
Yep.
Well, I'm sure they have. If you go up far enough, yeah.
Well, go on then. Who do you think's seen?
It doesn't matter because it's not something flat earthers believe in.
Well,
Like that's what I'm saying is there's no argument here. Like
I
it's
just
either you
wanna know
agree
your
or you don't.
opinion. You're not under any pressure. Just whatever you believe is whatever you believe. So what made you think you're on a board? Where's that curvature that you saw?
It's not belief. It's no. Get it right, Timo.
His opinion, he said.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've never been up into space. I'm never going up into
You have to.
space.
There's plenty of
Like-
satellites up there taking pictures daily.
Yeah. What do you think happens when people say, "Oh, the ISS is coming around," and then you can look up into the sky and see it? Like, what is that?
When I think about it, I think people are making stuff up.
You think it's CGI in the sky on like a broad scale or something,
What,
or
the
like what?
ISS? Well, there's something in the sky, but we just don't know what it is, do we?
I mean, they tell you what it is.
Yeah, they say it's a space station, but we know space cannot exist next to gas pressure, right? Know that, yeah?
I was talking about that earlier.
But that's what I'm saying. These things are not scientifically possible, as you know, right? Look at that picture of that ball. Look at that picture of the ball from Scott.
Timo.
That's not one picture
sunset.
though.
No, but you see that ball?
They will tell you that is not a single picture. That is
I'm not arguing
is
that.
pieced together
Yeah, that's
from
fine.
multiple
this one.
pictures from space.
this
There's
one.
no way
Not
to
this one.
take that high of a resolution picture.
That's not this one, though. One's from
Huh?
when they were on the moon.
Wait, what?
That one wasn't stitched together.
Oh, I mean, it looks like the fucking blue marble picture. So
Yeah, I mean, whether you think they're stitched together or not is irrelevant. Look at the picture. You see the picture, yeah?
sure, yeah.
See that black area around the blue area? So that black
On the
area,
outside,
yeah, that black area is the vacuum of space.
sure.
And around that ball, they've got all this blue and white stuff.
Yeah, clouds and ocean.
Yeah, so scientifically, if we tried to take a ball like that, put it in a vacuum, what do you think would happen?
Gravity.
It's not in a vacuum. It's in space.
What do you think would happen, Nito?
Close enough.
Nito,
Yeah.
Nito, if we take a
It's
large vacuum chamber, right, and we take a ball, right, a rock, and we put water around that rock, right, in the shape of a spherical object, turn the vacuum
well-
on.
Well,
What
where's the
happens-
vacuum chamber?
What
Wait a minute,
happens if
wait a
it
minute.
has its own?
Wait a
No.
minute. Where's the vacuum chamber you're doing all this in? Where is the vacuum chamber?
Benito.
Gravity,
Nito, ask him where the vacuum chamber
Yeah,
that
we can
he's doing
get to
this
that. I just want to hear
thought
Nito's
experiment in.
answer. I just want to hear his
We need to establish
response.
that because that's the basis of it all.
I'm trying to get him to understand. Look at that picture. I'll post that again for you. I'll just keep scrolling up.
Well, see, no, I've heard this a
Right,
million times before.
Look at this. Now, if we try to replicate that by taking a ball, putting that ball in the vacuum, surrounded by water,
Gravity.
that water.
Where's the vacuum?
What do
That's
you think?
not replicating.
What do you think will happen, Nito?
So are you trying to get me to say that the water would
I don't
reach
know.
the surface
I don't know. But you can
of
only know
that
through
rock?
science. I don't know. Only through science we can know. But what do you?
No, I
want-
mean there's a reason why you're asking me.
Well, hold
this.
on.
What
First of all, let's try and do some science, practical stuff
He's
first.
going to make a vacuum on the Earth
Without
to do this
making
in.
any mathematical equations, we're going to do
It's
practical
not a
science,
replication.
right? So what we're going to do
of
is try
what's
to
seen
replicate this picture. Okay?
You're not
So if this
replicating
picture
it.
is the real world, we're going to replicate what's in the real world. Okay?
You need a pretty big ball.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a ball and put it in a vacuum, put water around that ball.
A really
Now
big one.
tell me, what do you think will happen, Nito?
Where are you going to build this vacuum?
Well, I mean, you're trying to tell me that this object you're putting in this body of water doesn't have its own fucking vacuum of sorts. Like,
No. We're going to put the ball inside a vacuum. The ball is going to have water around it. So we're going to dip the ball in water. Take that ball with water around it. Put it in a vacuum.
In a lab.
Then
that's
we're gonna-
not how it
do it
works.
in a lab.
though. That's
What's-
not.
what's
You're
not how-
trying. You're trying to compare this ball to like planetary bodies in space.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
that's what you're doing.
I don't know what you
Well,
mean.
why else would you be talking about this? That's what we're
It's
talking
not a
about. We're talking
replication,
about planets.
basically.
I'm
it's
trying to
not a
replicate
replication.
scientifically what you're producing as an observation.
That's not
Piss
scientific.
poor
That's-
attempt.
So what do we have here, Nito? We have a ball with gas around it and water.
You need to
and
You need to match the mass though.
So what we're going to do is put that ball in a vacuum and see if we can replicate. But you haven't answered what would happen.
You
haven't
haven't asked
asked.
the question.
What would
You haven't
happen
asked
to
the
the
question.
water and the gas around the ball if we put it in a vacuum, Nito?
Gravity will hold it to the ball, obviously.
Whoa, what gas around it? Once you evacuate it, then the water is going to become the gas that gets evacuated. You know what happens,
You need to fix the
chemo.
microphone, it's awful. So Nito, what do you think will
You
happen?
need to fix your brain. It's awful.
And the answer is gravity, chemo. Gravity will hold everything to the ball.
Yes, I know that's your opinion. I'm asking for Nito's opinion.
It's everybody. It's a correct answer.
Well,
It's-
Nito has his
That's
opinion.
literally yes. When I was in Flat Earth Discord, I brought up the G word a lot of the time.
Mhm.
It's a very controversial word.
That's fine.
amongst
I'm not
flat
arguing
earthers.
with you.
I get that.
I'm just looking for science. Remember, we're going to take a ball.
Okay, listen. The science behind it is we're like more or less we have about as much training as each other. Like I know about as much as what I learned in fucking high school, you know, college, shit like that. Like we're not physicists. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. So it's about whether you just you look into this stuff and you take it at like face value or you don't. And that's what I'm saying is that I don't understand the point of not taking it
I'm only
at the
asking
value
about your
of what
opinion.
scientists present.
Relax. It's only your opinion. Don't worry, you can.
He's made a good point there.
I just gave you my
You
opinion.
never gave me an answer, no. Your opinion is not right or wrong, so don't panic about being incorrect. Yes?
He just gave me an answer, dude.
So I'm asking you, if we take a ball and we put gas and water around that ball, put it in a vacuum, and lower the pressure.
It depends on scale. How
Yeah,
big is the ball?
Yeah, but I'm asking what will happen if we put a ball.
He just asked you. He told you it depends on the scale. So answer his question.
I just did that.
How-
The size of a basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not going to work at
What's
the
not
size
gonna
of
work?
basketball. Try
I'm not
like
asking about what's not going to work. I'm asking what's going to happen. If I get a basketball, it's not a basketball, but it's the size of a basketball, of a rock, yes, like Earth. And we're going to put water and gas around that rock, the size of a basketball. And then we're going to lower the vacuum, lower the pressure. What will happen to the gas and water around that ball? That's what I'm asking you, Nito.
It'll be overwhelmed by the superior gravitational field.
Yeah, the superior gravitational field of a basketball. Like, yeah, like that's the thing that a lot of people in
What's
like
your
flat
answer?
Earth
Sorry,
server
hold on. Let me
can't
get your
like
answer. What is your answer?
comprehend is the scale of things.
I'm
Like,
not
they don't
asking about the
really-
scale. I'm asking about the experiment that we do. So we've got a basketball size of
It
mud.
depends. It depends entirely upon the scale of the object you're
Basketball
talking about. You're
size
talking
of
about a
mud.
basketball. You're
Size
talking
of
about a
mud,
basketball.
not a
It
basketball.
doesn't work like that.
Not a basketball size of rock.
Kimo,
and
you
mud.
gotta stop interrupting so much, man. What's your deal?
Rock, because he's saying basketball. I'm not saying a basketball. It's a basketball size of rock and mud. Understand?
He told you already.
No, you told me. I want his opinion.
He told you.
Well, I keep on hearing you. Nito.
I heard him.
I didn't hear him. I only heard you.
He said it won't
Yeah,
work. It doesn't work.
Again,
I
he's speaking and you're
I said-
speaking.
The thing that a lot of flat earthers fail to take into account is the scale of the objects they're talking about.
Okay, so let's...
Gas and water surrounding an object like this doesn't behave the same.
I'm not saying it does. I'm asking
Yeah.
what would happen.
I don't know. Do you want me to say that that there's this atmospheric fucking force keeping water and gas around a fucking basketball when you hold it? No.
Basketball size. It's not a basketball. It's rock and mud the size of a basketball.
That's what I'm saying. That's entirely what I said. We're talking about scale here. It doesn't matter what the basketball is made out of.
Mhm.
It's the fact that it's the size of a basketball.
Okay.
It changes entirely.
But you still haven't said what will
depending-
happen.
You're talking about the size of a basketball compared to the size of like.
Well, what will happen with the basketball then? Size of the earth and rock.
Nothing. What gravitational pull is surrounding a fucking basketball?
Sorry about butting in, but Kimo, can you specify where this basketball-sized object is?
In a vacuum.
Is it on Earth?
In a vacuum.
Is it in a vacuum on Earth?
This is what I've been asking him. He won't answer.
Well, does it matter where it is?
Of course
Well,
it does.
because the simple answer, Nito, is if you posit this question to Kimo, he's not going to specify it because it would go off of his script. So
Or
what
does it matter where it is?
if you specify that this object is in a vacuum on Earth, then it's going to mess up his whole, his whole script here. So that's the answer. You can
But
answer
you
that
don't-
whenever you like, Kimo. Okay, and
You
then we
don't
can
believe in space, do you?
keep going.
I'm only asking
So
you
where-
what would happen
Where else
to the
could
water.
it be?
I'm only asking you about the effect. What would happen in the vacuum?
Well, I want to hear this though.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Sure. We can
so
get back to that
we're
question.
so the basketball size object is on
Mhm.
Earth, right?
In a vacuum.
If it's in a vacuum on Earth, then Earth's superior gravity will take over, and
Yes,
the whatever is around it, the gas, the liquid, and so on, it's not going to stick to that ball, that basketball sized ball. Kimo, is that what you want to hear?
No, but I'm asking what would happen. What is the effect?
it would fall to the ground below the ball.
The gas would
But
fall.
would that happen? Would that happen in a vacuum that you don't believe in, though?
That's what I'm asking you. I'm asking what is the effect if you put a ball inside of a basketball, rock and mud, in a vacuum with water and gas around it?
Well, the water will evaporate, won't it, Kimo?
But I mean, all right.
For starters, Nito.
This is
So
this
I'll
is just
start
gonna go. This is a circular.
Because everyone else is
fucking
answering it for
argument.
you, but you.
I just did.
No, you asked me where is it on Earth or in space, and I said it's on Earth.
Okay,
But it'd
like
fall
I
off the
said,
ball, Kimo.
it would
You're not
fall
listening
off
to
the
it.
ball onto the bigger ball,
The gas would.
You don't. You don't believe in like there's.
So hold on, the
You
water would
can't-
fall, but the gas would also fall.
What gas? You said it's in a vacuum chamber.
Yeah, we're replicating this picture. Same gas.
Okay, how are you going to replicate that? You can't. You're not doing that.
Of course we can. That's science, right? We can replicate this.
You're not
phenomenon.
replicating. Oh, no. Gas around the wall in a vacuum chamber.
Oh, we can't science it, you're saying.
I didn't
Well,
say you can't science it. I said you can't reproduce it the way you're trying to. And you know it. You fucking know it, Chemo. You know it.
Yeah, and you know that picture is fake. That's why that's why you're defending
Nothing to
it.
do with the picture, Chemo. It's about you being fake. How about that?
So look, instead of white knight infinito, the fresh meat.
Nobody's white knighting.
No.
Knock it
No.
off, Chemo. Oh, come on, you want to
Well,
have
I'm not
conversation?
debating you guys, which we've done for many, many years already.
I mean, I answered you, and I mean, I'm not like a physicist or whatever. You know.
All right, so
what-
you're saying that the ball is too small. We need a bigger ball, yeah?
Well, not only that, but I mean, it has its own like.
Has its own what?
Dude, okay. Let me ask you this: what is your attraction to the flat Earth theory?
It's just exposing the globe liars, the deceit.
Why do you subscribe to it?
Because there's no evidence for the globe that we were told that we live on, you know?
Hmm.
That's what I mean. I ask you for the evidence, and
What's the difference between someone that believes in a globe Earth and someone who believes in a flat Earth?
Well, there's a whole lot of things that are different. You don't believe in fantasies anymore. You're more critical thinking. You'll be able to see through the lies, other lies that are on the table. It just opens up a whole new perspective for you. Whereas if you're on a globe, you just believe and parrot whatever you're told, like a puppet.
But that's not true.
Well, it is. You've just parroted everything they've just said to you now, and it's your opinion. You've just said,
You
I
didn't
agree
hear.
with him.
You
I
didn't.
agree
You
with him.
didn't hear what I said at first. Is
No,
that
because they were over talking.
people aren't stupid. They believe the government or the fucking mysterious they lie to them. They don't need a fucking flat Earth to do that.
Well, they do, yeah.
No, they don't.
Obviously, they do.
How so? How? Why would they need flat Earth to do that? What's the benefit of telling people that the Earth is flat or the Earth is a globe?
On a globe, you get to control the individual a lot more.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't. They already control everyone.
Yeah, through the
They
globe.
don't need any help from lying about the shape of the Earth.
Yeah, without deceiving the people. 'Cause again, it's more to do with.
They already see. That's the exact thing. That's the one thing I never got an answer from the flat Earth community was why. Why would they do it? And they're just like, oh, because they want to lie to you. And it's like, well, they already do that. So why?
When you
It's
say they
like,
already
oh,
do that,
well,
how do
they want to lie to you?
How?
And it's just repeating and repeating. It's like, oh, they just want to lie to you. And
What are the lies?
it makes no sense.
What, like what?
What?
What lies
Huh?
do the governments? What do you mean they only lied to us about? What?
They lie to you about everything.
Like what?
Are you kidding? Do you look into
Think
the
about it. I'm gonna make a quick drink.
fucking CIA release?
I'll make a quick drink,
documents?
and you think about what the governments worldwide have lied to us about.
Bill Clinton lied that he didn't get a blowjob in the Oval Office, and he was then found out to be lying. Bill Clinton
And see, like-
lied about inhaling cannabis when he obviously did it, and he tried to get out of it by using a stupid soundbite. There are two examples of governments lying to you. Go on, Nito.
And I mean, like, what I'm saying is, it wouldn't even matter if people knew that they were lying to you or not, because no one gives a shit. Like, the average person doesn't fucking care. They're not going to question it. They're going to go along with it. It doesn't matter. So if someone comes up and they're like, oh, the Earth is flat. Like, it's not gonna amount to anything, ever.
Think of
It's
any
not gonna
lies.
amount to anything.
Can you think of any lies that the governments have done? Said to
Huh?
us?
What?
Any lies? You
Emo
said they
can't
lie
hear
to us
me,
all the
evidently.
time. What was the lie?
Are you? What?
You said we were lied to
You're
all
still
the time.
asking me about that?
Yes, I went to make a quick drink. So what did they lie to us about? Did you think of anything?
Use Bill Clinton.
Well, in terms of the classic definition of lie, I mean,
So you can't think
what
of any of the
you
lies that
have?
the governments have said to us.
You have the government giving the citizens LSD. You have the government creating fucking
What about your
weird
lifetime?
sex cult children.
What about your lifetime? Things that you can prove, not just what you hear on a conspiracy website.
It's not I mean, it's CIA.gov. They release articles of their fucking workings every like 10 years or something. It's the Freedom of Information Act in America, at least.
So what's happened as a result of it?
What do you mean?
What, you
What's
know that they're
happened?
lying? What, were they just allowed to get away with it? Who allowed them to get away with it?
Yes, they are allowed to get away with it because they control. I mean, it's the government, man. Come on.
Well, if the people know they're lying, why don't you do anything about it?
Because that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if they know or not, and they know that. It doesn't matter, dude. It's the same way. Like, okay, think about this. People have Facebook accounts, right?
I
Okay.
don't.
Everyone. Okay, you don't. I know that. Everyone. It's a matter of, especially in the technological boom, it's a matter of convenience over security. Except that no one cares. They choose convenience over the security of their information, you know, their daily lives, everything about them. They would rather give that up to big tech, who they already know, take advantage of that, sell it. You know, data's the biggest fucking, you know, it's more valuable than gold. They take advantage of that, and they know it. But they don't care. It's convenience over security. And it's the same thing in regards to the government. Like, they just don't care. And that's fine, I guess. I mean, it's literally, you know, it's in the Western world. There's no changing it unless there's an entire fucking collapse and you just get to rebuild it from scratch. That's just how it's going to be. I just don't think they need to lie to you about the shape of the Earth to control you or whatever.
Well, that is the reason why. It may not affect you. You may already have views on the government and say, "Oh, yeah, I understand that they're lying," but you still fall into lying when you need. So that's the whole point: is to keep everyone,
Well, as to you,
close together like a herd, like cattle. They don't want their
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is no one cares about the shape of the Earth. Like, no one's gonna leave the Earth. Like, people care a lot more about, you know, their data online and shit like that. Like, it's no one wants to go into space. Like, no one's going to go into space.
You're right.
It's just it's such an unprofitable lie that, like, it wouldn't make sense to fucking, like, it just wouldn't make sense to lie about that.
People would care if they knew they were being lied to. That's why we do what we do. Expose and raise awareness. Like, for yourself, you've just said it's your opinion. When you have children and your kid wants to be an astronaut, you can tell him, well, there's no space, it's not a real place, you can never go there, so change your perspective.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, astronauts go. I'm talking about regular, like, people like me or you. Like, we're not going into space. You know, it's.
If you have 250,000, you might be able to go.
Yeah.
I think the problem is, I mean, Chemo's saying, oh, you know, they're falling in line, but Chemo falls into line. You know, he follows the herd. He's using the social services and the architecture of government on a daily basis. So I don't understand his point.
But all the evidence that they put out there, all the effort, and you still can't prove we're on a ball here.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, my thing is, why are you so focused on that one facet of like, why is it flat Earth?
Oh, because
Like-
it's been the biggest, longest lie they've had going for hundreds.
What
of years.
hasn't?
Hundreds of
Dude,
years, yeah.
everyone believed in flat Earth like 1,000 years ago, dude.
I know. And then they changed the narrative and then convinced everyone they were on a spinning ball flying through space with no evidence. You can't provide evidence.
No, the evidence is what made people change. We went from geocentric to heliocentric.
Well,
Yeah,
Because we sent-
what is literally what? Like, what do you think? What do you think changed? What do you think clicked? Like there, where we changed from a flat Earth to a globe Earth.
So, yeah, they were pushing this idea for a long time. There's always been a group of people who want to.
Not as long as flat Earth.
Not as long as flat Earth, of
I'll
course.
tell you that.
But what
Yeah.
convinced a lot of people were the moon landing, or the fake moon landing. Like when we had television in everyone's homes, the moon landings happened. That really pushed. Well, look, they're on the moon. We can see the Earth. They're showing us a ball.
No, people figured out the shape of the Earth before then. That's what math is all about, Chemo.
David
The
Wise
sunset,
spoke.
the sunrises,
David Wise spoke to a
and
lady.
the seasons, and the fact that you can see different pole stars. We didn't need TV.
And if you
Yeah,
want
I'm just
population
explaining to Nito
control,
that-
you get much better population control under strict, fundamental religion than you do under having a flat and a globe Earth. You
It's
wanna
not even a
control people.
religion. Like I
Yeah.
think like one of the things is like you're talking about people like, and this is like what a lot of people have told me is that like, oh, a lot of people look up into space and they like have this like hope that they'll someday get there or some shit, and that's just not the case.
Exactly.
That's
See,
not
Nito?
what people think about.
Exactly.
That's not what I think about.
No one's going to space, but they sell it to the Americans like it's a fantastic, wonderful thing.
But who cares?
The Americans do. The Americans...
No, they don't. I'm American. No one gives a shit. Like, people, like, okay, sure. Like, it wouldn't matter to me if the Earth was flat or round. I just don't give a shit. Like, I'm gonna go about my regular fucking day. It just doesn't matter. It's a shit theory to
That's
settle
good,
on,
that's good.
like, selling
That's
your...
very good. Do you know what? Because that's good you haven't bought into the heliocentric lie. So that's good. If you're not bothered either way, that means you're not someone who's really adamant the Earth is a ball. To you, who cares? You don't know. You don't know if it's a ball, so who
That's not really what
cares?
he said, though, is it? He said he just wouldn't care.
The guy's
I
here.
just don't give a shit.
I know
man.
you don't care. But Nito, look, for example, M. Scott Veach, his father supposedly
I
went
don't care if
into
it's a flat Earth.
space.
I would be excited if it was flat Earth. I would celebrate.
Now
that.
listen to him. He cares, right?
No, I would celebrate if it was a flat Earth. I
Look,
think that'd be super exciting.
Listen here. So he has a legacy to protect. You see?
I just said I would be excited, Kimo. I would like it if it was
So
flat
look,
Earth.
you
It
can
would be
hear the
exciting.
panic in his voice now, right?
I'm telling you, I think it'd be fun.
Very high pitched and like,
The panic in his voice.
yeah. So the idea is that his family have been to somewhere where a lot of flat earthers are saying, well, that's just not possible. Okay, so that would affect him, maybe not you, but it would affect him, his legacy, and people like him, not just him specifically, but all the engineers, all the scientists, all the people that think they're doing work to prove that they're on a ball or proves that they're on a ball. It would affect those people. Obviously, you're just
No,
a
wait,
really-
Okay. Listen. Another thing is the cost. Like, okay, I know a lot of people are like, okay, NASA gets a lot of money or some shit, but how much would it cost to pay off thousands upon thousands of engineers throughout the history of the modern world to keep a secret something like that? Like, oh, the Earth is like flat. Like, it's just not feasible. It's just not a feasible theory
Now your
to
question is,
maintain for
how
that
would
long.
they lie?
No, why? Like, that's what I'm saying. There's
Been
no
through why would
there's
they
no
lie.
lie that costs that much.
Look, they've had to wipe this again. This is a 100-year-old lie. This hasn't just happened overnight. You know, from when the Queen decided to, you know, go on expeditions and conquer the world, that's basically that's where it begins. So America, for example, I was talking about this morning. They've wiped out all the Indians to replace them with people who were not going to talk much. They went down to South Africa. Of all of Africa, they decided to control South Africa. Australia, another place that's key to the flat earth. They took out all the Aborigines and replaced them with people that may not investigate this kind of stuff the way that others might have. So again, South America, Australia, South Africa, all key areas you would need to control if you want to hide the shape of the earth. So don't just think, oh, because they said, oh, there's gold in them hills in America, you know, or we need to go there. That's not the reason. No, in South Africa, oh, they've got diamonds, we need to get there. Again, that's not the reason. And Australia, I don't know what was in Australia. Oh, they were sending prisoners to this country down under. Again, another nonsense story. Keep the narrative, keep the narrative going. So this hasn't been just an overnight idea. They've worked very hard to push this globe narrative, and we're still seeing it today.
It's too expensive. I don't believe it.
Not too expensive. It doesn't matter the cost.
It is. The cost of maintaining something like that is just not feasible.
Your labor is worth more than any money they could print. They could print billions and billions, which to them it's just paper. Your hands, when you go to work, move your body, move your legs, that's where the real labor, the real cost, the real value is, I should say. The real value is in the person. What you do when you work with your mind, hands, and body, not the money. So they can just spend trillions as long as you use your hands.
For what? For the fucking globe Earth conspiracy?
But we've got a rocket scientist here now. Now he's paid very handsomely just to sit behind a desk, look at a monitor, and not ask questions. Okay? So they'll just pay him. He's not being paid off, but they'll pay him handsomely. They make out
how many rocket scientists
fuck
before
off,
that
okay?
do they? I just, it's so ridiculous.
You don't pay them off. You don't pay them off. You pay them handsomely in their work. So you pretend, oh, rocket scientist is a very sought after job, and if you follow our instructions, we will pay you very well.
So what? Every
kid
kid that had a dream of like being a rocket scientist, they just get there and they're like, oh, by the way, this is how it really is. So you just have to sit by and do nothing, and we'll pay you.
No, not at all, not at all. Again, the payment keeps them quiet. So even let's say rocket
for everyone, for every single
Nito,
rocket scientist in the history of
listen up.
like
So look at rocket scientist, right? He's a real rocket scientist, works for a rocket company. Let's say he knew the Earth was flat, figured it out himself today, the Earth was flat, and it's not a ball, and he's not sending the rocket. So do you think he would go and give up his job, tell the world, or sit back on his nice salary and just get paid to, not say anything at all?
Tell the world.
Well, see, that's what I said. That's what I said in Flat Earth. I was like, well, I know you guys aren't dumb, and I know, like, if presented with something like that, you'd probably disagree. So why don't some of you go into that field?
No, I'm just saying to you that
Do you think if someone from the Flat Earth server went into like astrophysicist type bullshit or whatever, like they would just keep silent because of their fucking $100,000 salary or some shit?
Yes. Look at how many NASA.
No matter what, people can be bought by
There's been
$100,000 a year. Is that what you're saying?
Scientists killed.
That's not true though. That's not true.
What's not true?
That's not true that everyone can be bought by like a salary of
Are you
like
being
what?
silly? It's not that they're being bought. They get.
You just said
yes, but I'm not saying being bought. I'm not saying they're being bought off. I'm saying if you offer someone.
You literally just implied that.
No, that's not what
you answered. Yes to the question. Are they being bought off by 100,000? You said yes, and now you're saying I didn't say.
Nito, that's not what's being said. Okay, I'm saying when you offer someone a high salary, not paying them off, you're just giving them anyway.
That is paying them
No,
off.
that's not paying them off.
That's implying you're implying they're doing no work and they're being paid off to keep this conspiracy going. I just don't think that's feasible.
The truth is, if somebody discovers the Earth is flat and announces it, they're going to be the richest person in the world. They're going to be hugely famous and successful.
Yeah.
The first person to demonstrate that is going to be incredibly rewarded.
How much do you think Edward Snowden was being paid by the NSA?
100,000.
Yeah, definitely about around as much as probably any astrophysicist. And what did he do? He can't even live in the country anymore. So it's like, there are whistleblowers. I mean, that's where the term comes from. People speak out against the companies they work for.
Oh yeah.
But you're trying to tell me it's literally just isolated to like NASA shit like this where people just don't? I don't know. I don't buy it.
I have a question for Kimo. What sort of salary do you think would be needed to theoretically keep me quiet that the Earth is flat?
10 million.
If I was getting that much, then I'd consider it.
It's going to have to be 7 figures minimum. I mean, no one's going to be keeping a secret like that for 6 figures.
Yeah, I don't make that much. Okay. Sorry, Kimo, you gotta do better.
I want to get a pilot's license and go to fly the southern route, so if they can pay me millions of just flying planes.
That's a fucking dream, man. I'd have gone that route. If I knew, like, if I could make 7 figures like rocket scientist here, then,
Don't make 7 figures. I wish. You know what? Honestly, that would shut me up, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, same. I'm just saying, like, to pay that many people that amount of money, it's just beyond what the company, the entire, like, NASA, anyone makes in terms of, like, government funding. It's just not feasible. I don't know.
Just give me 1 million payment once and I'll shut up. That's all it takes.
Kind of like a signing bonus type of thing?
Yeah.
$1 million, though, come on. $1 million's not enough, guys. It'll be gone so fast, and you'd be like, I should have held out for 10.
Yeah, well, then I can start blackmailing them.
Yeah, but that's a lot of hookers and cocaine in one shot, I gotta tell you, though.
Yeah, but it's a double tap on the neck as a suicide if I start blackmailing.
But how many hookers' asses can you snort off at once?
Depends on if they're horizontal or vertical.
That sounds like a test and experiment I want to be involved.
So, Veach, could you retract your statement from earlier, please?
I did notice that time that somebody genuinely laughed, so I have nothing to say. I clearly that was a joke. That was a joke.
It was actually a double entendre, but we'll let that go.
It wasn't a double entendre, dude.
No, it was because I fucked you at the same time.
Okay, that's a double entendre. That's not a bad save. But you had to save yourself there because there was no double entendre in the first one. But it was a pretty good save. So I will give you full credit.
Woohoo! Maybe it was that second beer helped me out, I think.
Yeah, it's a compliment tonight. Nice.
Mind you, no name. Which way do you line them up?
The hookers?
Is it by hair color, breast size, or height?
Counterclockwise.
Right hand rule or left hand rule?
size of mouth, maybe?
Oh, by their relative density, they'll just peak their equilibrium.
Yeah, but hang on. Wouldn't the ones with the implants be changing that?
Yeah, they'll settle out. Those are man-made, so you can't do science with those.
Well, that was a fun little fucking debate we had there.
He's been chemoed.
Yeah, I guess so.
He did that to
Yeah,
a friend of mine who just came in. I asked him to join one night, and he came in, and he was at work even, and chemo just started in on him. It was funny.
Brings me back. Back when I wasn't banned from Flat Earth.
Getting
Good
grilled.
question. I missed it. Did he get into the voices, or was he giggling?
What?
Normally, when he becomes frustrated with the line of questioning that you're giving back to him, he'll either start trying to do accents or he'll start sniveling and giggling.
I think someone in chat mentioned he laughed at his own statement.
Yeah, he was talking about the Australia and the Aboriginals and how they took out the Indians, and he was laughing when he said it. So he knew it's bullshit, or knows it's bullshit. It's just,
yeah, I guess it was the laughing that.
Yeah.
And little does
just
Chemo
trolling.
know. Little does Chemo know that the population of the Aboriginals is actually slightly higher than it was when the whites first landed here. So.
Well,
Yeah,
they
but they all
know
get
they know
yeah.
something that we don't. So
They get paid by the whites.
they get paid millions of dollars a year.
Oh, the
They just live in the
800,000
bush with all the money.
Aboriginals are NASA shills, are they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they live on the bush with the money, not doing anything, just waiting on the interest.
The fucking 300 million that NASA gets paid, yeah, they give like that and then double that to all their fucking engineers and the natives of each continent surrounding the world to keep the flat Earth a secret. So, I mean, we heard it from rocket scientist himself. He'd stay quiet if he got paid $1 million. So,
I'd consider it. I think I'd need another zero on it. Just
Now you're talking.
firm. No, it's right. I mean, fuck $1 million.
You
Just get
son
a
of a
decent
bitch.
I know, you come out to LA and try to buy a house, and you'd be like, "Fuck, I can't even." All right, I guess I better go back and get 9 more.
Yeah, but it's when you realise you got a 6-figure salary, and you earned that in 10 years, and you're like, oh, yeah.
I mean, it's 10 years, but it still's not enough. Which is crazy.
Not even that. Like a 6-figure salary that you literally have to do nothing for, except not talk about how the Earth is actually flat.
You know what's weird though about the idea is that most of that money that NASA gets, right, goes to employees, but it sort of sets up this weird question, which is like, but why bother? I mean, like, who are the people getting paid? Why is it that anybody's concerned about getting them free money? Like, just don't start this whole process that you have that they imagine as sort of this way to keep people quiet. Like, just don't hire them in the first place. Just don't do any of this, and you don't need to keep them quiet because you never hired them. So that, you know what I mean? It's like the very people that are supposed to be hiring and doing this are the people that never had to start it in the first place if they didn't want people to think it was real. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's a huge waste of money to keep an entire like 300-person team of engineers on to do literally nothing.
It's like we definitely don't want them to know that this is real. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend to go to, or no, how's it working with you? We definitely don't want them to know that space is fake. So we'll pretend to keep going, and then why it doesn't. I can't. I'm trying to figure out how the thinking works to even get to the state where you say, okay, this is a good idea, guys. We figured it out. We want to make NASA and this is going to be the way in which we convince everybody that it's real. I guess. Okay. This doesn't make sense.
And Scott, that's why denialism fails, because once you deny that that's what they're doing, you have to find all the reasons why they would not be doing those things.
Right. It just seems like a way smarter play with them to say, like, oh, and by the way, we can't go because Van Allen radiation is so intense you can't get through it. Next, and move on. Just stop pretending you're going so everyone doesn't have stuff to scrutinize.
Even though they went through it 6 times. Like
before that,
my favorite thing was the whole like this idea that everyone living like in middle class America has this dream of going to space, and that's never the case.
I know, it really is never the case.
It's like I don't give a fuck about, like, I mean, you know, you look up at space and you see like the progress that scientists make and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, that's cool. And then you go about your life.
They talk about Wall Street. They never talk about Wall Street or anything like that. They go, "Oh, big pharma," but
yeah,
you know,
there's so much more that has such a bigger impact on your average person living in this country that it's just like,
yeah.
I don't even look at NASA.
Like when my dad was a kid and they were just getting ready talking about going to space, and they just put satellites up. I think during that time, lots and lots of kids got infected with the bug. But
oh yeah,
I think later, like in the 80s and 90s, those kids that were growing up then, which was me, it's just like I mean, I just could not care. I could not care less about space. And the thing that was so boring about it was they weren't going anywhere. Like I would watch Star Trek or I'd watch sci-fi stuff, and it'd be cool and exciting. And then you'd find out what's really going on, and it'd be so boring in comparison. You'd be like, whatever. Like
I think it's useful for people who like look at that and be like, hey, I can be the start of, you know, maybe, you know, the next generation will be this like Star Trek-esque era, and I'm interested in this and stuff like that. But everyone else, you know, they don't give a shit.
At all.
No one fucking cares. Everyone watches the news. Everyone saw the black hole picture and they were like, "Oh, cool," and then that was it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Some people love that shit, and that's great. We need people like that, but that's like maybe 1% of the fucking population in any given third or first world country.
Maybe 10%, but it's not a majority, that's for sure. I don't.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, sometimes I am surprised. I'll go somewhere or I'll meet somebody who just. I mean, every once in a while I'm a little bit. I remember that there are people out there that just really love it, but mostly I agree.
Yeah. Like, I'm never going to space. I'm not doing any research ever.
You might go to space.
Contribute.
Like, to be honest, you're young enough that it's just not that big a deal. I mean, look, Branson. I guess he didn't technically make it, but
how young am I? Huh?
Aren't you 20 something?
26. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're young enough that you could. I mean, look, anyone under 50 could possibly be going to space. Now, not for a long time or a big deal or anything, but you know, we're reaching that point in the next 5 to 10 years where it's going to be feasible for you to actually, if you really want to, you can go.
I think the closest I'll get to space is if I save up enough for like a commercial space flight.
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. I mean, look, if you get a seat on the galaxy, the Virgin Galaxy, maybe 10 years from now, that wouldn't be that hard to imagine.
I don't think anyone's gonna colonize like Mars in my lifetime though.
Well, eventually, but not anytime soon, probably. It's hard, man. Colonizing Mars is gonna be a very hard task.
By the time I'm like 60, I'm sure I could take like a low Earth orbit space flight across the world to like Japan in like 8 hours, maybe.
I think maybe then, but yeah, probably. I'm much more interested in the question I want to know is will we have an AI that can hold a conversation